Well, good morning, everyone. We have a really special highlight this morning. Andrea Rosser, so many of you know her. She's so good on all the communication channels, all the social media. She travels all over the world. But a lot of people don't know Andrea's story. Andrea, I don't want to spill the beans, but would you mind taking us back to you getting laid off in corporate America and being a mom of some young children and trying to figure out what in the world you were going to do with your life?
Todd, you tricked me. Oh, goodness. So my name is Andrea Rosser, and I am honored to be on here with you all today. And yeah, if we put the rewind button, 15 years ago, I was a mama of a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and the primary wage earner for our family, and worked a traditional desk job, moving paper from one side of my desk to the other and I was in real estate, not selling houses, but kind of the back end, think of spreadsheets. And I watched like my world kind of start shrinking. I'm like, oh, that person got laid off, that person got laid off. So I knew the job was going away, but I didn't have a solution for it. And so actually, it's a little bit longer than 15 years ago. But anyway, I ended up losing my job. And I thought, oh, no big deal, right? We'll figure this out. I'm going to take a little time. I'm going to find a job closer to home. Well, fast forward a year later, um, hadn't found anything. So this was 2008, 2009, the whole housing crisis. So everything in my industry was shrinking. And I don't know about you, but if 75% of your income for your household disappeared for an entire year, that might put you in a little bit of a pickle. Like our emergency fund was gone, our savings was gone, our credit cards were maxed out, and it was terrifying. I was 2 months behind on my mortgage. Highly do not recommend getting yourself in that situation. And that's when somebody came to me about this industry. And I was really not interested because I had tried something when I was 18 and I'm incredible, or then I was even worse. I was very shy. I'm not shy really anymore, but I was then. And I'm like, industry is not for me. And they said, no, 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 we're going to help you, right? We're going to help you. We're going to lock arms with you. And that's actually what happened. So I ended up getting started, was connected with phenomenal mentors, and it really, not instantly, wasn't overnight. We didn't have the system of growth then, so it didn't work quite as quickly. But I'll tell you, by the first paycheck, I was able to save, put away grocery money for the entire month, which is why I started in the industry. I literally came here for $150 a week. Um, and so my first paycheck, well, I don't know if I'm supposed to give numbers, but anyway, it was more than enough for that month, about half that other month. So you guys can do some math there. And I will tell you, I did not pay off that credit card. I put it in my pocket. I cashed that check because I was a little nervous and it was paper checks back then. And put my head down and kept going. And so, kind of one of the things that happens is once you put your oxygen mask on, like once my kids were fed, then I was really excited to make sure that everybody else's kids were fed. So, like one of my best friends, her husband had to work at least 1,000, no, excuse me, 10 hours of overtime every week in order to break even in their budget. Well, she had 4 kids. And imagine your husband being gone for 50 hours a week instead of 40. That makes a really big difference. So I'm like, I think I could help you make that. And when I did, it was like, oh my gosh, my heart grew 3 sizes because my kids were fed. Now her kids had dad, right? So, like all these little wins that you have with the people that you are connected with in the business, it makes it so much fun. So, kind of fast forward, I went from groceries to catching up on my mortgage to being able to create a life where I was able to be a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom for, well, the entire career of my daughter. She's graduated now. My son has 1 or 2 years left. We'll see what he does. He's trying to make it one, and I really want it to be two, but we'll see. They like to rush things, but I was able to be there and play a huge role in their life that they were getting raised by daycare before. And if you had asked me if it could be different, I would have said no, because I could never imagine a way that I could be home with them. And then now this industry partner co is actually doing something even more powerful, and I'm going to try not to get emotional here. But my big sister is sick right now, and kind of the big sick. And so I kind of was able to drop everything in Alabama. I'm back out here in California. I've kind of moved my life here. So I brought the kids in here. They're off gallivanting now. I think they're both in Colorado, maybe right now. But I was able to kind of shift to be here because she needs a lot of care. And if I just think about, I had a great career when I had it. I made good money and was able to provide for a family. But what I couldn't do was drop everything and still get a paycheck. So I am still working and I'm still absolutely love everything we're doing here. But like yesterday, we spent the entire day in the hospital in San Diego. I was literally on a Zoom at 8:30 yesterday morning and said, "Sorry guys, I gotta go," and hung up, took off, and was down there and got back, I don't know, 7 o'clock maybe last night. And I wouldn't have that freedom and she wouldn't have that care and I wouldn't be able to be that blessing if it wasn't for what we can provide here. And so that would be the only thing that I would say to you guys today is start for the small reason. I don't care why you're here. It could be for the $60 or $80 on a box of drops, and it's just fun to have that pin money in your pocket. Start for the small reason, but keep going. Be consistent because we have no idea what it will grow into and the blessing that will create in our lives.
Andrea, I think a lot of times we all can visually see getting our mortgage paid, getting out of debt, creating cash flow, but very few people have ever understood what time freedom is. It's hard to sell that, but once you experience waking up every day and doing what you want to instead of what you have to, it creates a whole new lifestyle. And it's really the greatest thing that our industry provides is the freedom. Once you get a business established and growing. I've got one last question for you, and we'll turn it over to you to start our IPAs. But I hear you tell the story often, and this happens to everybody. It's not just you, but when you first get in a company like this, even when you start having success, a lot of times we're still behind the eight ball financially, and we'll win trips or we'll get different things, and we really still don't have resources. Like we're just like, what's going on? How did I even win this trip? So I've heard you tell the story of winning a little leadership trip, and you got to the hotel and wherever you were going, and your credit card would not hold the room. So you want to share the story of what Brent did and what you were able to do back for everybody in Tahiti?
Yes, well, that was okay. So, if anybody on here has ever been broke, okay, so where you're going to the checkout line at the grocery store and you have like $47 on your debit card and you're praying that you did the math right in the grocery store, the story's kind of for you because was where I was at. And so I had had some success though, and I was invited in to go to corporate and all the leaders, right? You know the people that you picture, all the leaders are there and then I'm walking in knowing that I don't have two nickels to my name. I had a little tiny bit of money on my debit card, not enough to hold a room. I don't have credit cards now because remember, they were maxed out and my kids were in California. I am at corporate and I'm walking up to the counter in a cold sweat. Okay, because I know they're going to ask me to slide my card across the counter to hold the room, and I know it's not going to work. And it must have shown like I have a glass face. You can see everything I'm thinking. I don't know Brent Palmer very well at this time. Like he's one of the big guys, right? I had worked with him a little bit, but wasn't closely connected. And as I'm walking up, I see this guy, right? Like, oh my gosh, that's the one that's going to be at the counter when I have to go tell these people. So I walk up there and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm going to check in." And they're like, "Okay, well, we need a credit card to hold the room." And I went, and I like just all the blood, I'm sure, just drained or went to my face one way or the other, right? And Brent very calmly said, "Oh, that one's going to be on mine." And he slid his fancy, like, if you've seen the American Express these gentlemen carry around, they're thick. They're not a regular credit card like me, right? This is a big old credit card. He slid it across the counter. I went and crawled in a hole, cried because I was embarrassed and all of that, like that feeling inside. So that was the start of the weekend. It improved from there. I was very grateful. But then, so fast forward, guys, and I am on the trip of a lifetime. I'm in Tahiti. Coach is there, Dr. Crystal's there, Greg, Lineker, Todd, Ashley, like all these amazing humans, and we're having a phenomenal time. But these big dogs are still traveling around with those big old American Expresses, and we're souvenir shopping. And I had my little tiny redemption moment, kind of different, but it was so fun because Brent went to go buy his family their goodies and they didn't take American Express. And then Dr. Crystal went to buy her family their goodies and they didn't make American Express. But my little credit card, it had plenty of room on it. And so I was able to put it down on the counter and I'll tell you, I burst into tears then too, because to be able to have that moment where I knew my card wasn't like it was going to work. I had that confidence that that was going to work. And it was just a great, beautiful moment that I think I probably cried for 2 days, and I'm going to still cry about it because it was a fun first full circle. Now, I'm sure they paid me back, but it was still fantastic and it was fun to be able to do.
And that will end with this. It's a great second, maybe to promote the PXP event in Dallas. I don't think any top earner of any network marketing company has ever gone to their initial convention two or three without having to sleep in rooms with multiple people in their own cars. I remember the first convention I ever went to. Actually, one of the people I thought was doing really good. I walked up like at 3 o'clock in the morning. They were sound asleep in their seat in their car. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a company. I thought that guy was doing good, sleeping in his car, but he was just slightly ahead of me. I didn't really understand where he was in the process at the time. So, we all enter this for better. And sometimes when we're 6 weeks in, we don't have better yet, but yet we need to get in those bigger environments where the energy and the information is. So we'll let you share that and close it out. And you can take me down, Sarah, and we'll move right into the IPAs.